Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today. I'm concerned about the adverse impact that the Affordable Care Act is going to have on our hourly employees. There's been a discernible and dramatic shift from full-time to part-time work in recent months. Schools, colleges, cities, and restaurants throughout my district in Indiana have reported this on the ground to me, but this is not just anecdotal evidence that I have. You look at the national trends, according to the Labor Department, since January, roughly 100,000 fewer Americans are working full-time. The June jobs report indicates that 322,000 people have seen an increase. There's been an increase in 322,000 people of Americans who want to work full-time but can only find part-time work. So what's driving this trend? It is the Affordable Care Act in large measure. You have employers that are chopping up their full-time positions into part-time positions so that they can stay under that 30-hour threshold, which is mandated under the so-called employer mandate. An employer mandate's driving up costs on businesses, estimated according to our federal government of $106 billion. And, you know, there are a number of people who are living from paycheck to paycheck that I talk to on a regular basis who are not just hurting, but they're angry. They're angry at those who put this law into place and those who are implementing it, and they want reforms. And so I do come here in the spirit of partnership to try and identify those reforms. I would note that President Obama has already signed 7 of the so-called partisan and meaningless bills, which he on a regular basis despises in his speeches. He's responded to the employer community by delaying the employer mandate. These are both actions that the President has taken. I wish he would also extend mandate relief to individual rank-and-file Americans and their families by also delaying the individual mandate. But I'm going to ask you a few pointed questions here. Do you think that the administration could support, as another possible measure, repealing the new definition of full-time of 30 hours, which it's never been popularly understood to be, and restoring the traditional 40-hour definition as it applies to this act?
I'll start by saying I'm just not the right government official to answer that question. I think I would defer to Treasury on those types of policy calls.
Right, that's not mine either, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, the tax code, of course, is your forte, so I'll ask you this. Can you point to any other places within the Internal Revenue Code where full-time is defined as being 30 hours a week?
I will look into that and get that answer for you. I don't know at my fingertips.
I believe I know the answer.
Okay.
I'm not the commissioner of the IRS. I'm not the guy in charge, but I think the answer is no. It's never been defined as 30 hours, and that's why the American people understand it to be something much higher than that. Do you believe a one-year delay of the employer mandate, as you consult with your bosses, do you believe that that is going to stop this trend of reducing the number of hours that our hourly employees are receiving from 34 hours down to, say, 29 hours, the so-called 29er effect?
I'm not sure. I mean, what we're hearing from employers is they wanted an opportunity for 2 things: to talk, have more time to work with the Treasury Department and the IRS around how these regulations are constructed and how the reporting provisions will exist. And they also wanted more time to develop and ramp up their technology and process solutions to meet the new requirement. Now, whether they then, in turn, that has other impacts on their business, I would imagine it would. I don't know what impacts it might have on their business, but the direct request we had from them is more time to both work with us on the requirements themselves and give them time to develop the systems needed to meet those requirements.
Well, we have another jobs report coming out on Friday and others to follow, so we will see whether or not this one-year delay has any impact on the reduction of number of hours and thus wages of these workers who are on the margins of our economy. Thank you, and I yield back.